They lose that game, then I think they're in trouble. That's 2 losses, then their win-loss isn't good enough. Hey, you guys are automatically in the tournament, because let's be candid, their wins, while good at the time, now that the season's unfolded, are less strong. Loyola has had a tough year. Okay? Hopkins, what does that win mean? Right? Little. Cornell was a good win, and they're struggling in the Ivy League as well.
Yeah, the Ivy League has been wide open this year. Cornell jockeying for position. Lars Tiffany and Brown much improved. Next Saturday, this could be a #1 versus #2 matchup when we get there. Notre Dame and North Carolina. The winner will be the 1 seed in the ACC tournament. And barring some sort of Virginia comeback, the winner of UNC Notre Dame will likely face Duke in the ACC semifinals a week from Friday.
That'll be a fun game to see North Carolina's attack. Joey Sankey, the all-time scoring leader at North Carolina. Bitter being their best player so far this year. And then Goldstock.
What a season
he's on pace to break their single-season record for goals, and he's the 3rd person on that attack.
Yeah, he's closing in. He's 1 goal away from 40, and I believe 8 away from Dennis Goldstein's single-season record. Jimmy Bitter, by the way, is in striking distance of the all-time goals record held by Bert Fett. So that's a pretty impressive attack line. I'm not sure there's one better in college lacrosse right now. I'm sure Notre Dame will have something to prove next week with Kavanaugh, Doyle, and Mikey Wynn.
And both the thing that's so impressive with those teams, they have people that can beat you 1-on-1. It's how they play together. They have the perfect relationship with one another. Wynn for Notre Dame is so good off ball. Goldstock complements Sankey and Bitter because he's a little bit bigger, and he can win those matchups a little bit more physical towards the crease than the smaller guys can. So they just play so well together, and they complement one another so well.
You know what's impressed me about Goldstock, too? We always talk about the riding abilities of Bitter and Sankey. You watch Goldstock, he's learned a thing or two in that regards from #4 and #11.
Well, that speaks to leadership, right? Joey Sankey and Jimmy Bitter wouldn't let him be on the field if he wasn't doing that piece of it. They probably care less about the goals he's scoring and more about the possession he's stealing for that offense.
When they can get those early offense opportunities, North Carolina's lethal. There's German. Virginia trying to save face here with 4 minutes to go. Caholen turned away by Fowler. What a game for Danny Fowler. Yanulis able to hold on. There's Laundry on the field.
Just the confidence today. I mean, he has looked explosive. He's seeing the ball well. I mean, that was an inside off-stick save. It didn't even look easy. He was saving 40% before he came into this game.
And John Danowski said he was on a short leash today. He should just tell him that every week. Miles Jones misses the pass. He recovers. Jones, 2 goals, 3 assists.
And if you're Duke here, you wait till the stall call comes on. Kill as much time as you can from an offensive perspective.
Justin George, number 27 in white, into the game for the Blue Devils on attack. A senior. There's George, 2 goals on the season, and none entering the campaign.
And again, now they have even more time because they just got a shot. Make the stall warning come on.
Matt Barrett has played well in goal today for Virginia, as he has in almost every game for UVA this season. But it has just been a barrage from Duke. One shot after another, constant pressure. It feels like Virginia's been on defense for most of the second half. There's the warning, shot clock on. Jones with the dodge, shooting on the run, and another save by Barrett.
The former stall, now the shot clock. Well done by Duke, good coaching. Players knowing what they wanted to do. They took a couple shots early on, but again, they were going to be patient, wind this game down. They've got it in the bag. Keep your players safe too. That's one of the things now. You don't need any unnecessary injuries for no reason. And you can see the penalty here, just a trip. And
yeah, Zed Williams may be a little frustrated.
Again, if you're Duke now, spin the ball, start running and initiating your offense with about 20 seconds left. You don't want to not take offensive opportunities here. This is a time to get better. Work on something man up you hadn't done all season, but run some clock down first.
Matt, you've played on young teams before. Duke took its lumps in conference play prior to today. What sort of confidence boost is a game like this for a young team?
I think it's immeasurable what it means for this team. You have a goalie that, again, hopefully this translates into some success later on in the season. You're getting an attack now that's starting to feed. I think that's been the biggest issue for this Duke team. There's no question about their midfield. The midfield is great. One of the best in the country, if not the best in the country. It's their attack. Now you have Bruckner doing his offside piece. Guttering getting a couple assists. That's what matters for this team. Can they get some offensive contribution from behind the cage?
Another penalty coming on Virginia. Jones to Bruckner. Guttering on the doorstep. What a save by Barry. Whew. The Duke fans applauded that save.
Barrett has been tremendous. He's right around 50% again, save-wise for the game, but he has been making point-blank save after point-blank save. Well, not Virginia's day. Matt Barrett has given his best, stayed patient even though he had dropped to the ground. Watch his eyes, they're still on Guttering's shot. Rose Keenan, excuse me.
Duke two-man up now. Penalty on Scott Hooper. And the Blue Devils are just going to run some clock here with a minute plus to go in regulation. You played with Tillman Johnson, and you've seen him stand on his head a few times. Tillman had a little more to work with on the defensive side of the ball than Matt Barrett did.
Yeah, I mean, it's an admirable job that he's done this year. I mean, again, a team 6 of 7 sophomores or under with no experience, and then your only starter who's not a sophomore or younger is a senior walk-on.
Now this crowd giving Duke a standing ovation. The Blue Devils with a convincing win over Virginia, and Duke snaps a 3-game losing streak, its longest in more than a decade, and for the first time since a 15-13 win against Georgetown on March 14th, Duke is back in the win column, and this was an impressive performance all around by the Blue Devils. Attack, midfield, defensively, in the cage, man up.
Offensively, it was great. Defensively, the best effort so far this year. Gave Danny Fowler all the opportunities to make the saves he needs to make. Watch out, lacrosse world. If Duke can build upon this momentum, they will be a team to reckon with.
Do not write off the two-time defending champs just yet. The Blue Devils win it 15-8. They'll play in the ACC tournament. Now we get you to Ann Arbor and the Big House.
Hello and welcome to Ann Arbor, Michigan Stadium, the site for another Ohio State-Michigan clash. This time it's lacrosse. A penalty coming up here on the Wolverines, already down by 1. I'm Eamon McEnany, happy to be joined by Paul Carcaterra. Ohio State with goals from Planning and Brown took a 2-0 lead. Ian King answered for John Paul's Wolverines. But now, the 11th ranked team in the country about to go a man up.
Michigan offsides. We spoke earlier too in lacrosse. If you're offsides, don't go off the field. Utilize that guy and stay on the defensive end. Ohio State certainly could have had an opportunity to score there. Make it more difficult. Use that extra man while you're banged.
Somewhat surprisingly with Jesse King and all the offensive talent as they make the pass there. This man-up unit clicking at less than 30%, and they're not going to get a goal here right now, it appears, as the Wolverines come up with the stop and the turnover. So Duke has just defeated Virginia in the ACC. That means the Blue Devils are in the ACC tournament. Virginia is not. The Cavaliers will play Penn in 2 Saturdays from now. The #1 seed in that tournament will be on the line next weekend on ESPNU, Saturday afternoon from Arlotta Stadium in South Bend, as the #1 team in the country, Notre Dame, will host North Carolina. The only question is, Paul, will North Carolina be the #2 team in the country in that meeting or the #3 team in the country? Right here, Ohio State, number 11, looking to improve to 3-0 in Big Ten play and secure a spot in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. Paul, what are your keys for the Wolverines?
Attack pressure, a midfield-driven offense. Ian King's the only Michigan Wolverine with more than 10 goals. They need more from that unit as Kyle Jackson penetrates.
They leave him alone and he makes them pay.
I love this kid's game. We did his freshman year game down at Homewood Field against Johns Hopkins, and I said, who is this kid? Kyle Jackson, 47 in Mays, so slick and smooth. He's got that Canadian background, the two-handed cradle. Probably their most consistent dodging threat for Michigan. And look at the placement, too. He recognizes that. He sees the cage. Tom Carey, a righty goalie, stings it left.
56th career goal to go along with 18 career assists. The junior out of Ontario, the Hill Academy, Brody Merrill's school that sends players to colleges all over America. So we are all even at 2 now. Lawton May once again, and again 3 against 3. Becomes a scrum. Picked up by Barger. Brendan Barger with the ground ball.
One of my other keys for Michigan is supporting Jerry Logan. Make Ohio State outside shooters. When Notre Dame did that, obviously they were successful. Notre Dame's a different kind of defense than Michigan, but similar principles. You have to force these guys to shoot from the outside. When they play that two-man game inside, it's lights out.
That Notre Dame game that Paul was referring to, a 9-0 shutout. A shutout in Division I men's lacrosse for a team in the top 20. But they bounced back nicely. Knocking off Penn State.
First quarter, we hear Notre Dame #1 and then the shutout.
Oh, you mentioned the game, Paul. I didn't know what you were referring to. Here's Planning, runs the game's first goal. Gets it to Brown. Quick ball movement here. Logan gets a piece on the shot from Lubaugh.
That's the save Logan will have to make.
Now on the restart, off the rebound. Chell gets a step. Cross crease pass gets through. Good recovery by Chase Young, freshman out of Philadelphia on the ball. Now they work the two-man game. They play Big Little, so now they get Brown matched up on the short stick. How quick is the slide? Not quick enough, but he gets the shot off wide.
I love Carter Brown's moves from behind. If I'm Michigan, I'm forcing him to go underneath. He's a topside dodger. When he makes that move from behind, he's using his strong hand, and he's going past goal line extended without coming back.
Now they have King on the short stick. Cross cage feed gets through. Shot high, no push call on the release. Well, Michigan can't come up with the ground ball. Now they do. Here's Bergman. Drops it. Good ride by John Kelly. Still loose now. Good hustle. This is what Michigan and Ohio State's all about. Why wouldn't we expect this? Up by the Wolverines and Ian King.
Well said, Eamon. The way they attack that ground ball, you're not attacking a ball like that in the middle of the field in a midweek game, I'll tell you that much.
Speak for yourself, Paul. And you hear now the enthusiasm and passion coming from the Michigan bench. Here's McCormick being good. He's a little tired out there. Blue ball. Been a long shift. Sees the slide, gets rid of it to Meter. Now they have the defense hung up. Goes to his left. Trying to set up the question mark, but slips into a double team. Hall's all over him. And he gives it up to Jackson. See, now this is where you got to reward the defense and slap a timer on him right away. They just made a great stand. Make him go. Jackson has a man wide open on the crease, but he can't see him. Now McCormick gets a step on the short stick and buries it. 3 unanswered goals for the home team.
Patience, patience, and patience. David McCormick takes advantage of a poor approach by the Ohio State defense, gives him his top side, he cashes in. Wolverines up 1, Ohio State.
Old Spice College Lacrosse is brought to you by the Old Spice Fresher Collection. Here's an eagle noise. Caw-caw.
Thinking of investing in Duke Energy, Next Era Energy, or Dominion Resources? They're all components of XLU, the Utility Sector Spider ETF, which includes over 25 utility stocks in the S&P 500 to help add diversification and minimize single stock risk. Why invest in a single utility stock when you can own the entire utility sector of the S&P 500? Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Go to sectorspiders.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. Visit us on the web at sectorspiders.com.
I play lacrosse. What's your superpower?
Your empire is how the world will remember you. It's where your dreams come to life. But you must not delay. Plan quickly, build quickly, or be destroyed quickly. Will you build an empire that lasts forever? Will you be my hero?
Game of War. Play for free now from the App Store.
Welcome back to Old Spice College Lacrosse inside Michigan Stadium. It's the Wolverines and the Buckeyes, and it didn't take long this afternoon to realize this was a rivalry as the head coaches channeled Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler.
Steve, get out of here. All right, Dave. Got a lot of nerve. Lot of nerve.
That's just like me and Clark in our production meeting, but this is how we got here, Paul.
Ohio State came out blazing. David Planning finding his shooting stroke, and Carter Brown's been one of their money men all season long. 2-zip. Enter leading scorer for the Wolverines, Ian King. He's been their everything from the attack. The silky smooth Kyle Jackson, the junior from Canada, and then David McCormick cashes in with a low-angle shot.
Now these teams have played for a while. As we take a look at their histories in football, basketball, and lacrosse, Ohio State's won all 3 varsity meetings. That was in the ECAC. Now in the Big Ten, it means a lot more.
Totally different. And Michigan's program now in year 4 as a varsity program, trending upward. They have the facilities. They have the recruits coming. This is going to be a rivalry that is just going to get magnified now that you have the Big Ten. You have 2 programs who play lacrosse in one of the premier conferences in college lacrosse, but you bring in that rivalry and the tradition that the 2 schools have, and let's be honest, the hate.
But it's part of your fabric when you go to these schools. When you play in the ECAC, no disrespect, you're playing good teams, but it doesn't mean the same on campus or in town.
When the jersey says Big Ten, it's different.
That hits the pipe. King, though, somehow gets to the air ball. Pick that out of the sky. Might need to be touched on that one, huh, Paul? Clark, what are your keys for the Buckeyes?
Early offense. They're a patient offense, but I think they're really efficient when they strike fast from defense to offense. Guys like Regan Coleman triggering that transition, then quick slides. Make Michigan passers. These are guys who are Dodgers. I haven't seen a real elite premier type of playmaker who distributes for the Wolverines.
Hey, go strong! Stay strong!
Blubaugh on the redodge, looking for the inside roll. Saw the slide coming from the crease, gives it up. Now Planning. Keeps coming. Runs out of an angle. Good defense by Kinnick. Now they get the switch. So they get Shell being guarded by the short stick. This is the freshman attackman out of Boys Latin in Baltimore. Now they work the... So Brown has the matchup on the short stick. Carter Brown, 6 goals a week ago against Johns Hopkins. He's got a man open on the crease. Instead, he goes for the shot. Nice ground ball there by Thomas Orr.
You're seeing a lot of short sticks get hung up and caught on attackmen behind. That's by design by this Michigan defense, putting the poles on the perimeter of the Ohio State offense. Guys like Shell and Carter Brown are going to have to make them pay, become big-time Dodgers.
All right, so Michigan gets the ball back. The Wolverines have scored 3 unanswered goals. Who are the threats at the midfield position for the Wolverines?
Kyle Jackson, without question. I think he's their best midfielder. Guys like Hernandez and Joseph have been playing for 3 years. They need to step up. When I saw them as freshmen, I thought they had huge ceilings, not producing at the level.
There's Bogle with a good look, but maybe from too far out. Easy save, and now transition the other way. Here comes Colmolt again. Colmolt's got a step, shovels it along to Brown, and Michigan recovers. Now he's got King on the cut, but he keeps it himself. Shell has Bergman hung up in the crease. Up top, extra pass, shot too high for King.
That's one Jesse King will want back when he watches the tape this week. Very rarely do teams give him that kind of cushion.
Brown gets a step on Bergman. Logan comes out, makes the save. Gerald Logan is a daredevil in the cage.
That's a really good save by Logan. And I think he scouted Carter Brown quite well. Carter Brown is shooting with low angles as good as any player in the country right now. Widened his stance and shut the door.
Logan out of Long Island, averaging just over 13 saves a game.
Competitive, active goaltender. You see how he just widens his base right there and makes that save. Look, man, when you get hit with shots, you're playing your angles well. I have no problem with goalies getting pelted in that type of a scenario because you really just want to get wide and make it difficult for a guy like Brown, have little to shoot at.
And when he started as a freshman and Michigan made the jump from club to varsity Division I, boy, did he get pelted.
I would have loved to have seen the bruises on him on a Monday morning, man. He was target practice, and that kid was so tough and competitive. We did a couple of the games that year, and I was so impressed with just his resiliency and his ability to come back.
Jackson again, can't put it on Cage, got a good look. 1:37 left in the quarter. Ohio State scored the first 2. Michigan has answered with 3 straight. This is King. Now McCormick. Mikey Schlosser gets it over now. And here's Jackson being guarded by the short stick Capinas. Draws 2, feeds the crease. Now King up top. Gets the pick, keeps coming. Hands free, that hits the crossbar.
Amy, you mentioned midfield proven quantities for Michigan. You have Kyle Jackson, you have the other juniors, David Joseph, Mike Hernandez, the rising star on this unit also, 17 in Mays, Mikey Schlosser. Big-time athlete, can get down the alley and shoot on the run. Just a matter of him getting acclimated to this type of lacrosse, and he's got a huge upside.
Here he is with the ball. He's hit a bit of a wall, 0 goals in his last 3 games. King, the tricky shot, but Carey ready for it off the turf. Tom Carey playing a solid goal for the Buckeyes this year, the redshirt sophomore out of New Canaan, Connecticut. 14 saves a week ago against the Blue Jays, 3 already here against the Wolverines. The Buckeyes, 15 seconds left. Here's Pfister. Now Evans goes away from the pick with 8. That pass gets knocked down. 6 seconds. They'll send it down to the other end. And that'll do it for the first quarter. So intensity all over the place in Ann Arbor. Even before the national anthem, the Buckeyes and the Wolverines were ready to go toe-to-toe. It was chippy. It was intense. It was good lacrosse. The Buckeyes scored the first two. Michigan has answered with 3 straight, and the Wolverines up 1 after 1.
Thinking of investing in Apple, Google, or Microsoft? They're all components of XLK, the technology sector SPDR ETF, which includes over 60 other technology stocks in the S&P 500 to help you add diversification and minimize single stock risk. Why pick a single technology stock when you can own the entire technology sector of the S&P 500? Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Go to sectorspiders.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. Visit us on the web at sectorspiders.com.
Yankees, Red Sox. The rivalry is quiet until it's not. The rivalry is cooled until it's hot. All it needs to spark is a new season. Rule 20.15. The year may change, but the rivalry doesn't. Sunday Night Baseball, Red Sox Yankees tonight at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell.
Break free from that car you hate. John Lohman here from Lohman Auto Sales. Bring me your trade-in today and I'll give you up to $5,400 more than it's worth. Even if your credit is wrecked, ruined, bruised, battered, or bankrupt, or you have no credit, don't worry. My banks and lenders look at you, not your credit score. That's right, you, not your credit score. Everybody drives. I'm John Lohman and I'm a dealer for the people.
Out of the mailroom and into the boardroom. This is where I belong.
I used to tinker with computers just for fun, but now I get corporate networks to run.
I went from only helping my child to a career that's really worthwhile.
Discover My College compares hundreds of colleges and thousands of degree programs to help match you to a school and degree that's right for you. Call 800-205-7531, 800-205-7531, 800-205-7531.
Welcome back to Old Spice College Lacrosse from Ann Arbor. The Wolverines with a 1-goal lead on the 11th ranked team in the country. And next weekend, could Midwest lacrosse fans have another #1 versus #2 showdown? Notre Dame #1 in the clubhouse, North Carolina, with its win yesterday over Syracuse. Could they leapfrog a Maryland team it lost to? We'll have the action 4 p.m. Eastern next Saturday from Arlotta Stadium on Old Spice College Lacrosse. And earlier today, Duke continued its domination of Virginia, so that means the Cavaliers will go winless in ACC play this year. More importantly, it means the Cavs are out of the ACC tournament. They will play Penn instead that weekend. And we know the 4 teams in, we just don't know the seedings yet. Either way, it'll be 2 great games on that Friday night. Here goes May, loses it at the last second.
And Virginia out of the ACC tournament, as you mentioned, still alive for an at-large. The big question, is the Cornell win big enough? Is the Loyola win big enough?
They're a lock. They're a lock. Who has the wins they have?
They're a lock. Talk to me in a couple weeks if Cornell doesn't advance to the Ivy League championship, and if for some reason if Loyola doesn't win the Patriot, those wins are completely watered down.
Don't throw out your Virginia notes, Paul. You might see them again. They're going to the NCAA tournament. Book it. They're going.
Okay, then you're buying Cornell and you're buying Loyola.
But all their losses are top 10 losses. Who has that resume?
What are their wins?
Cornell.
Okay. And Loyola.
And Loyola.
Okay.
But who at large is going to have better wins than that? Does Cornell have better wins than that?
We have to see. I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong. I'm just saying
I'm right.
Okay, but I'm saying in the next 2 weeks, if Cornell and Loyola don't get it done, you're out, man. You're out.
Someone's got to go.
Someone's got to go.
You're going to get a third team from the Ivy League instead of Virginia?
We'll see.
You're going to get Princeton, who lost to Stony Brook, in? There's another save by Logan. We'll have that conversation on the way home.
We will. We will. Look, I'm with you. I think if everything holds as of today, are in, without question.
The RPI is off the charts. All their losses are in the top 10.
They just need to hope that Cornell and Loyola hold serve.
Well, I mean, look, you can look at this ball game right here. Here's a team that might be at large if they don't win the Big Ten tournament in Ohio State. You know, they got a win over Denver, which is tremendous, but then you have losses to Detroit that you have to figure about. So, I mean, I agree. I understand your point.
How can a team Towson, too. The Towson win is better than a Loyola win right now. Ohio State beat Towson, beat Denver. Look, this is the beauty of April. We can disagree and we can have fun with this, and it will all work itself
if today
out.
was Selection Sunday, would Virginia be in?
Yes,
okay.
today. Yes, today they would be.
All right, now back to our regularly scheduled programming, Michigan and Ohio State. Here's Schlosser. Quick move to catch. Schlosser draws the pole. Down the alley, hands free, save carry on the low shot. King can't pick up the rebound. Hoss kicks it ahead. Selling out for it. And the Wolverines quicker to the ball, they're back in time. It'll stay Michigan ball, no offsides.
I like the athletic ability of Gembis. He's made a couple plays with the long pole. 4 in Mays. He's got a quick burst to the ball, confident when the rock is in his handle. And
Jackson gets his hands free and scores. The Canadian with the crafty delivery gets his second.
This is big time, Eamon. Kyle Jackson shoots across his body, almost against the grain. When you're alley dodging from that specific spot on the field, typically you like to use your right hand. No one picks him up. There's no slide. When you're doing this against their best midfield option, you got to send that slide, force him to be a passer. I told you, Michigan is all about goal scorers from the midfielder, not guys who create and distribute. Send the slides quick if you're Ohio State.
4 straight goals by the Wolverines. Ohio State scored its 2 goals in 6 seconds. Since then, they've been scoreless in 13 minutes and 47 seconds. So John Paul's club has the momentum at home right now.
And the way this game started, when Ohio State came out and buried 2 quick ones, it looked like it was going to be a long day for Michigan, but their ability to rebound and respond. I love the speed they're playing with and the effort, too, flying all over the field for ground balls.
You almost wonder if Ohio State was ready for a street fight like this. I mean, we know it's a rivalry, but they'd beaten Johns Hopkins. They scored the first 2 goals right off the bus. You wonder if they have to ratchet it up again.
The coaches were ready for a street fight.
Yeah, wouldn't be Michigan, Ohio State without some excitement in the pregame near the Big M. Now Pfister out there with Lewis and blue ball. Blue ball goes to the swim. Back to his right, draws the slide. Good trail check, forcing the turnover.
You mentioned the energy that Michigan's playing with. Out-ground balling Ohio State right now, 12-8, and that's with some domination on the face-off X by Chris May. So that discrepancy, if you ask me, is magnified even more.
Dangerous pass into the middle of the field, and Ohio State gets it back. Pfister gets it over to Carter Brown. Now Bergman tracks down Brown, but they give him an alley to the goal. Save, Logan. Now, they're able to recover in time to turn away planning.
Jerry Logan, a big guy in cage, but you see how nimble he is and his ability with that explosive first step to get to those low shots. Really, really impressed with him over the course of his first 2 years playing at Michigan.
Evans back to Kelly, extra pass right on the doorstep. That's why they call it execution.
This is the answer for a goalie who's going to widen his base. If you have a crafty Canadian finisher like Jesse King, he can make you pay. We saw Jerry Logan masterful at the shots earlier in the game. King recognizes that and hugs the pipe.
So there's a break in the action. Ohio State stops the drought. It's a 1-goal ball game in the Big House.
then decide to give it everything you got, and if not, then don't even try. I've been picking up the pace and doing double, determined. I'll show you how to hustle. I'm in too much of a rush. I can sleep when I die. Only up and rest my eyes. I can sleep when I die. I can sleep when I die. I can sleep when I die.
Feeling good about Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, or Amgen? They're all components of XLV, the healthcare sector SPDR ETF, which includes over 50 healthcare and biotech stocks in the S&P 500 to help add diversification and minimize single stock risk. Why invest in a single healthcare stock when you can own the entire healthcare sector of the S&P 500? Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Go to sectorspiders.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. Visit us on the web at sectorspiders.com.
Welcome back to Old Spice College Lacrosse. Nick Myers' club just scored its first goal in a little under 19 minutes to pull within one. Time now to take a look at news and notes around the college lacrosse world. Busy weekend of lacrosse on the ESPN networks, but how about Lyle Thompson moving closer and closer to immortality?
Unbelievable. Rob Pennell, Cornell, 2013, the career mark, 354. They are tied. Thompson might get to 400. If Albany can make a run deep into the playoffs, this guy is incredible. One of the game's all-time greats without question. And UNC, that big win over Syracuse down at Chapel Hill. Great atmosphere, lots of offense with Jimmy Bitter, Joey Sankey, and Chad Tutton's playing as well as any midfielder in college lacrosse. And Joel Tinney watched that game last night. The freshman wanted to be the hero. You could see that he was playing with a different type of confidence and assertiveness to end that game against Penn State.
Talked to Joe Bresci today about yesterday's ball game, and he put it best. He said it was throwback. It was 80s lacrosse, a shootout, great weather, great crowd. That's what it's all about when the Heels and Orange play.
And I think Syracuse right now has the ability to really regroup and use this game as almost a learning experience, because defensively I saw things out of Syracuse I hadn't seen all season long in terms of their slides and their lack of communication. The UNC offense really took it to the orange, and Bobby Wardwell was pulled in the first half. Warren Hill, I thought, played well in the second half, so potential goalie issues as well. And anytime you have two guys and two really good goalies who've played big-time lacrosse in the past, that's a challenge.
Kelly decides not to shoot on the redodge. Logan denies him. This is what Logan does. He makes saves that frustrates offenses, and last week in the win against Rutgers, he didn't have that lapse where he let in a bad goal.
Yeah, he's big time, 22 in Mays. I love his energy. He's always competing. Week in and week out, practices, and they're deep at the goaltending position. John Paul's recruited well the last few years, and Gerald Logan is their mainstay. He's their best player on that side of the field without question.
That's a push against Michigan on the ground ball, so it'll stay with the Buckeyes. Here's King. Sees the slide coming to his left. Now it comes from Bergman. Here's King. Getting to the middle of the field. Moves it along. Nice fake, nice feed. What a goal. What a pass, what a finish by Shell.
Shell is the end result, but to me it's all about Jesse King and the defenders that he attracts every single game. 19 in red, week in and week out, allows the game to come to him, senses it out, knows that the double will come, knows that the eyes are peeled on him. Look at all those eyeballs and maze on Jesse King. He recognizes it, kicks it out, and then they bang it inside. This is great offense. You draw that double.
Chell gets his 10th goal of his freshman season. And a reminder, college baseball on ESPNU is back on Thursday at 7:30 Eastern. It's an SEC showdown as number 2 Vanderbilt visits number 21 South Carolina. This game will also be live on Watch ESPN. Earlier this year, Nick Myers raving about Colin Chell to us, saying the most polished freshman he thinks he's ever had in Columbus, coming out of boys Latin in Maryland.
Says a lot. Watched Jesse King as a freshman. I was pretty impressed with that Canadian when he stepped on campus, and This is an offense that's really skilled. You look at their top 6 guys, and their midfields are canning some outside shots and keeping the defense really at bay. And you know what they can do inside with all these Canadian finishers. It's a matter of David planning and a couple of the other guys, John Kelly, finishing outside shots.
So we see Michigan throwing a new wrinkle at May and Ohio State at the X. They went with the pole, Chase Brown, but the Buckeyes able to come up with the ground ball and the possession. May and the Buckeyes have won 7 of the 11 faceoffs so far in this game. And now Chell through the box, so they have Chell being guarded by the short stick. As we get a look at Ryan Hunter in attack. Feed inside, Logan ready for the quick stick. 5 saves already for the redshirt sophomore out of Sachem, New York. Now Hernandez gets a step, gets it over midfield. You know, it was interesting. Coach Paul said, you know, he's almost similar to Sergio Perkovic, and you see the 16 and the way he moves, you get it. But then, you know, you're talking about another level, the way Sergio's playing right now as a sophomore for Notre Dame.
Well, I think Hernandez right now just has to find his shooting stroke. I mean, you look at his athletic ability and how big and strong he is. A good spot for him is on the defensive end, I believe, because he has that strong sense of clearing and able to soak up checks and get it from defense to offense. Does need to step up his offensive game with a couple of the other middies. You know, David Joseph.
All right, here's
shooting woes.
Here's Ian King. Lefty shot, not on the mark. A meter there for the backup, so it'll stay with Michigan with 6:29 to play.
Hernandez shoots at 26%. David Joseph, 14%. You want those guys shooting around 30%, and that will open up this entire Michigan offense and give Ian King some breathing room.
Another lefty shot. Looked like Carey got a piece of that one from King.
Two things that I think will really help this Michigan offense, not just this year, but moving forward. Midfield goal scorers. And then they really need to find that guy in the next year or so that can run their offense and be that quarterback and allow Ian King really to play on that right wing where he's so dangerous.
Here's Meter. You know, Michigan did it a little bit differently than some of the other startup programs like Richmond and Marquette and BU. They jumped right from club to Division I varsity, and you know that is a different growing process to make that jump from the MCLA to ECAC lacrosse.
And another thing, I think Michigan really jumped in and went after the big dogs in college lacrosse right away and tried to recruit against them, where the BUs in Richmond, I think they looked at an opportunity to find some late bloomers, guys who have fallen through the cracks who ended up being great players, so they immediately could help the program where, you know, the elite programs or the quote-unquote elite programs going after really young kids. It's going to be a few more years for Michigan to really see where they are in the recruiting front.
Schlosser on the re-dodge. Slide comes with him. That shot off the mark. Peter Cross can't put it on cage, but Tom Carey up to the challenge right now.
Goaltenders are certainly stepping up in this ball game. Ian King, the lefty stroke. Thomas Carey, you mentioned New Canaan High School. Peter Kraus, the last shooter for Michigan. He's from New Canaan High School as well, so those two have seen a lot of each other. But Thomas Carey, to me, is a big surprise for Ohio State this year. He came from Bryant College, where he left. You know, Gunnar Walt really solidified that position for Mike Pressler. Carey comes over to Nick Myers, Columbus, stepping up, playing huge.
Softball coverage continues on ESPNU as number 6 Auburn hosts number 7 Alabama in an SEC matchup. Game 1 Friday at 8:30 Eastern. Then Game 2 of the series will be on Saturday at 6 Eastern. Both games on ESPNU and Watch ESPN. So we already mentioned it, Carolina-Syracuse, a throwback game yesterday in Chapel Hill. Fans not disappointed.
Yeah, you like offense, over 30 goals. Shane Simpson, little low-angle shooting ability, scores and then feeds to his classmate, the sophomore Luke Goldstock, who is crushing it as a goal scorer in 2015. Peyton Klawinski, another surprise midfielder for the Heels, scout team member a year ago. Don't forget about this guy, Chad Tutton. Absolute sniper.
All right, Clark, well, I'll give you a chance to win some friends in the Big Ten. Who's number 2 on Monday morning? I know you don't do a poll, but is it a Maryland team that beat North Carolina, or is it North Carolina and its resume with Big Ten top 10 wins all over the place?
I can tell you're going to argue with me no matter what, but I'm going to have to say...
That is my role here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say it's North Carolina. 5 top 10 wins. Maryland, 1 top 10 win. Lost to Yale, which is a good team.
It's a top 10 loss now at this point.
Absolutely. The head-to-head, obviously people are saying, well, Maryland beat North Carolina. I'm looking at the entire resume. North Carolina's 5 top 10 wins against Maryland's 1.
But the ones against Carolina, we got to get you out of that college football playoff mode where they don't care about head-to-head. Get off that committee, Clark. Play the game. They played the game, and John Tillman's club took care of Sankey and Bitter and Tutton.
And I could confidently say John Tillman's club is a solid number 3. That defense, Kyle Bernlaw and Cage and Casey
Nice
Ikeda.
Consolation prize you're sending to College Park.
Man, you want to be number 1 at the end of the year. I don't think John Tillman cares right now if he's 2 or 3. His team is legit. He's done an incredible job coaching these guys this season because I, for one, was not a believer that this team would be this good. After you lose Mike Chanichuk at the midfield, first-team All-American. Connor Cannizzaro goes to Denver. He was the ACC Rookie of the Year. Nico Amato and Cage. Michael Earhart, defender, both graduate. Goran Murray, not with the team this year. Who was making plays for this team preseason? So what Tillman and staff have done in 2015, I think, is remarkable. But they're the number 3 team in my mind right now.
The Buckeyes will get a look at the Terps next week, but right now they're looking to go back on top here against their arch rivals. 3.5 left to play in the half. Here's King being guarded by the short stick. Sees the slide coming, shoots anyway, shot blocked. Huge ground ball here. Michigan can't come up with it. And the player's hurt. Yep, he hit his own man, Carter Brown. Now Brown, good to see him up.
You don't want Carter Brown nicked up. Ooh. I don't know if that was the head or the shoulder area. That tandem was red hot last week in Columbus. Yeah, it looked like the neck even. 11 goals combined against Johns Hopkins, and these guys play so well off each other because Jesse King, not only as a goal scorer, but an elite passer from the midfield or the attack position. He's looking for that cat right there.
So Nick Myers has to make an adjustment here with this possession with 3:15 left to play. And it'll be Hunter who has the ball here. Now Kelly. Kelly down the alley. Nobody picks. Shoots it wide. You just heard Logan say, who's going? You can't let that guy go right down the alley. 2:56 left to play. 19 shots for the Buckeyes. Planning up top. Now Kelly again. This time he tries the middle of the field. That hits the post. Nice ground ball work there in the middle of the field by Thomas Orr. Dangerous pass. Ill-advised there on the clear, and the Buckeyes have a golden opportunity right now. And King falls. Does not buy the flag now. Nick Myers out in the restraining box looking for a call on his superstar, not getting it. And Ohio State took a timeout before the second hit. King slow to get up. I thought the first one did not merit a penalty. Nick Myers doesn't agree with me, but I think he's more upset now about the second hit, which came as he called timeout.
Looked like he possibly even tripped over his own feet there.
That's what they want.
Yeah, that's the one they want, and I understand that one.
But the timeout had happened as he was on the ground.
Could have nailed Logan with a cross check or...
I mean, if it's dead ball, it could have been even worse. But I don't think it was after the whistle. We take a look at Jesse King's bioblast. Brought to you by Sector Spider ETFs.
Versatility. I think he's going to make a great pro, Eamon, because of his ability to play attack or midfield. He's played all over the offensive side of the field for Nick Myers in his 4 years at Ohio State. Can draw a double, can shoot from the outside, and he's a passer too. Big-time passer.
6th overall pick of Major League Lacrosse draft to the Rochester Rattlers, and we take a look at the up-to-date Big Ten standings. Maryland and Ohio State, perfect in Big Ten play. They will play next week. But again, you got to get into that conference tournament to have a shot at the automatic bid.
Mathematically, no one is out to date. Looks like Maryland, obviously, and Ohio State and Hopkins for a year that people think they've really taken a slide. They control their own destiny. They won't get in the playoffs without a Big Ten title, I can tell you that much, but they're still playing for something down at Homewood Field, and then those other teams, Michigan, Penn State, Rutgers, duking it out for that last spot. It's going to come down to the wire.
So now John Paul's defense getting ready for 6-on-6. And it has been a little bit chippy here this afternoon, as one might expect when it's Michigan against Ohio State. Logan certainly not afraid to mix it up. He's an active goalie.
Chippiness has gotten to us in the booth as well. You're questioning a lot of my...
Well, you don't do a poll, so it's easy for you to make one here, and you know.
Every Sunday night I get a text, hey, who do you think here?
Every Sunday night, I couldn't get a hold of you last week. Was you watching WrestleMania, or was that 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
On me.
2 weeks ago.
I'm like, Clark, give me Fairfield, the 20. Who? I'm watching The Undertaker. This has been a battle royale, steel cage match, what have you. 4-4, 2:15 left. Here comes a double. Now King ready to go. Gets picked up by the freshman Shorty. Advantage King. Let's see how quick they are to double. Here it comes. He's ready for it. 2 minutes left in the first half. King again, wheeling and dealing. And he gets it taken away. Gets it back. And they stay with Ohio State, but good on-ball defense by Chase Young, the freshman out of Philly.
Both teams selling out. Shell closest to the ball when it went out of bounds. Ohio State gets another look.
Oh, the whip. They'll take it. It's not pretty, but Ryan Hunter will take it. Logan's not going to enjoy watching that one on film again.
Ryan Hunter is in certain spots in this Ohio State offense for a reason, and it's always inside as the crease guy, and that's one of the uglier goals he'll score in his Ohio State career. But count it, man. When you're deadlocked 4-4 with arch rival Michigan, you'll take it.
Awfully close to the crease there. That's an interesting landing spot. But Nick Myers' club will take it.
You can land in the crease after a goal as long as you don't leave your feet. So the big question there is, did Hunter leave his feet and then land in the crease?
Now here comes May. And he shoots and scores, going right down State Street. 3 unanswered by the Buckeyes.
Chris May is changing the way this Ohio State offense operates this season because he's giving them momentum-type possessions, one after another. You score a garbage goal, you get in the scoring column regardless. Your team feeds off it, and then your face-off guy, who's winning at 64% coming into the game, shows you he can take it down himself.
Second goal of the season. He also scored earlier this year against Marquette. So making a 4-goal run by the Buckeyes. They have 2 in 6 seconds. And now Nick Myers' club with complete momentum, 93 seconds left in the half. And May in a groove right now.
Totally in a groove. And you look at what he's done for this team in 2015. Played at Georgetown, had an extra year of eligibility because he redshirted while he was down in the nation's capital. He comes to Columbus and fills a huge void for the Buckeyes.
Check that stick. How did the ball not come out of Mulcrone's bucket? Now King gets it across. And you wonder, we mentioned for most of that first half, it was Michigan with the passion and the energy. You wonder if that hit by Logan on King kind of woke up the Buckeyes here for the final few minutes of the half.
This is an emotional type game. You see your superstar Jesse King with what you think is a late hit. Going right after the big-time goal scorer, 19 in red.
Now out of timeouts, but they can hold for one. And here's Hunter. Now Pfister draws the pole of Brown. "15 seconds left for Pfister. Draws the slide, feed inside, catch made, and a goal. Blue ball.
This is bad defense, straight up. You look at the clock, you have to rely on a defender's ability to lock it down. You look at Ohio State right now, you have the long pole on him. Do not slide and create offense. You see 40 in Mays right there. Should I go? Should I stay? And Bergman, if you're going to go, Eamon, you need to go and slide with authority. The last thing you want to do is go in between the two players. Blue ball obviously has time and room to finish that shot. But Bergman, if you're going to slide, you got to go. He's right in that middle ground area, and no one benefits from that. You just created offense for Ohio State at a critical spot in the second quarter.
Now 5 straight for Nick Meyer's club, 3 in the last 131. May can't come up with it, looking for instant offense, instead the other way. Tricky situation there for Carey and the Buckeyes, but they escape unscathed. So John Paul's club with a bit of a run, but the Buckeyes regained momentum late, and it was typical Ohio State, Michigan. Chippiness, intensity, trash talking. The Buckeyes have the lead at the break. The halftime reports coming up next. A good one in Ann Arbor, the 11th ranked team in the country, up 3.
Hey girl, is it crazy that your soccer trophy is talking to you right now? It kind of is. It's as crazy as you not rolling over your old 401k. Cue the horns. Just harness the confidence it took you to win me and call TD Ameritrade's rollover consultants. They'll help with the hassle by guiding you through the whole process step by step. And they'll even call your old provider. It's easy. Even she could do it.
Whatever, Janet.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Yankees, Red Sox. The rivalry is quiet until it's not. The rivalry is cooled until it's hot. All it needs to spark is a new season. Rule 20.15. The year may change, but the rivalry doesn't. Sunday Night Baseball, Red Sox Yankees tonight at 8. Baseball Rules on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell.
Have you or a loved one suffered complications after uterine surgery from the use of a power morcellator? If so, call the Sentinel Group now. You may be entitled to significant compensation. The FDA estimates that 1 in 350 women undergoing a myomectomy or hysterectomy have unsuspected sarcoma or cancer in the uterus. The Sentinel Group's experienced network of attorneys have years of experience fighting big medical companies and is ready to fight for you. So if you've developed uterine cancer, call the Sentinel Group now for a free confidential consultation.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
It's the Duke Blue Devils who claim the 4th and final spot in the ACC tournament. Duke continues its mastery of Virginia with a 15-8 win, and the Blue Devils have now won 15 of the last 16 meetings against the Cavaliers. Anish Shroff alongside former Tewaaraton Trophy winner Matt Ward. Well, this is vintage Duke this time of the year, a team that had lost 3 straight, a team that had been struggling. Young team now has a little bit of confidence, and that can go a long way if you know John Danowski's track record.
Yeah, for the Blue Devils, their most complete performance to date. Offensively, they were sharp. Defensively, they limited the opportunities Virginia had. And then Danny Fowler and Cage had his best day by far. And they can get consistent goaltending. This is definitely a scary team as we get this late in the season.
Offensively, they were led today by Jack Bruckner, the sophomore attackman. Had a career-high 7 goals.
And you can only say in the right place at the right time so many different times, and he was there today. Great off ball. He kept his composure, in and out of his stick quick. Duke's offense moved the ball sharply, and he capitalized with his accurate shooting and deceptive release points. High to low to the corners. What a day for Jack Bruckner.
He almost outscored Virginia by himself, and 5 of those goals came in the first half. We're now joined by the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils, John Danowski. Coach, I'm using your quotes from earlier this week. You told me, emotionally, we're struggling. These guys are not used to losing. What does a win like today do for a young team's confidence?
I think it was really important in that we played the right way, meaning that the things that we worked on during the week are the things that I believe I saw on the field. And so that, the hope is that will give them some confidence as we prepare and go forward.
We saw Danny Fowler really take a big step up in goal. Justin Gutterding coming along as a feeder. Career game from Jack Bruckner. What do you put in these guys' drinks to get them to always improve and evolve and peak this time of the year?
You got to add it to their desire, to want to get better and to want to work at it. It's not easy. Practice was 6 days this week, and we were moving towards 3 hours on most days, and it was hot, and so you got to give the kids credit, got to give the coaching staff credit. Matt does a fabulous job with those attackmen on a daily basis. Coach Caputo, kind of gives them the blueprint, and so you got to give a lot of credit to a lot of people who just work at it.
Offensively, you kind of hit on the attack. They really stepped up today, but someone who also played a big game, Miles Jones, you had mentioned that he had been pressing a little bit. What can you say about the way he played today?
Again, I think Miles let the game come to him. He's learning. Some of the things that came a little bit easier during the season doesn't come so easy in these ACC games. Syracuse, Carolina, Notre Dame, loaded with great athletes and great talent. And I think that Miles has, taken some of the lessons from the last 3 weeks and applied it to today, and I think you saw it in his play.
You're now in the ACC tournament with a win today. You get to maybe exact some revenge on a few people who got you earlier in the year. What have you learned about your team as you now take, I guess you go into the final furlong of the season, if you will?
Well, they weren't afraid to work, and they accepted the challenge of losing 3 times in a row. And listen, we could lose twice next week. Stony Brook is playing lights out, and Marquette, everybody knows their story. Both games are on the road, and so we're going to have to learn, how to handle this victory well and get back to work on Tuesday. And Stony Brook plays Lehigh today. So, we're going to travel. We're going to play on, 1 day of preparation, and we're going to have to learn how to deal with this.
All right, Coach, good luck and great effort today.
Guys, thanks for being here today.
Once again, with the win, Duke secures the 4 seed in the ACC tournament. Virginia will still make the trip to Chester, Pennsylvania, but the Wahoos will play Penn. Duke will either play Notre Dame or North Carolina in the ACC semis. The Irish and the Tar Heels play next weekend in Chapel Hill. Final score from Koskinen, Duke 15, Virginia 8. Back to the big house after this.
Banking on Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or JP Morgan Chase, they're all components of XLF, the financial sector SPDR ETF, which includes over 75 financial stocks in the S&P 500 to help add diversification and minimize single stock risk. Why invest in a single financial stock when you can own the entire financial sector of the S&P 500? Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Go to sectorspiders.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. Visit us on the web at sectorspiders.com.
Hey, I'm Zendaya. If you're anything like me, you know how embarrassing pimples can be. Ugh, you just want them gone. But getting rid of them just got a whole lot easier.
Now you can easily clear breakouts in one simple step. From the makers of Proactive comes X-Out, your acne solution in just one step.
Who says treating acne has to be so difficult? X-Out just made it one step simple.
X-Out is all in one, which is so convenient, and my face looks great.
X-Out is the first ever wash-in acne treatment, which means that even after you rinse, advanced medicine stays behind to fight pimples all day long. And you can feel it working with a blast of icy cool.
Like
Magic in a little bottle. It's great.
You won't get X-Out at any store, so go to xout.com now and get a free gift, plus free shipping for a limited time.
If you want clear and seriously good-looking skin, this is your answer. Wash in, X-Out.
Yankees, Red Sox. The rivalry is quiet until it's not. Rule 20.15. The year may change, but the rivalry doesn't. Sunday Night Baseball, Red Sox, Yankees, tonight at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN.
Back here in Ann Arbor, musical chair, beanbag musical chair, part of the halftime festivities. Who will be left out when the music stops in the Big Ten Conference Tournament? As Paul Carcaterra and I take a look at our Big Ten storylines.
Could be a one, could be a two-team type conference come NCAA playoff time. Maryland, though, vice grip right now in regards to the way they're playing. Kyle Burnlaw in cage has been phenomenal. Casey Ikeda has been a lockdown defender. Ohio State struggled against Notre Dame when they were blanked 9-zip. The offense has come alive. 15 goals last week against Johns Hopkins. Speaking of which, they had a huge win last night against Penn State, Homewood Field in overtime. Joel Tinney was the magic man at the end, but it's all about Wells Stanwyck and his brother Shaq in attack. How big can they play come down the stretch? And that Maryland game will be a monster affair when those two in-state rivals go head-to-head in 2 weeks, Eamon.
The Buckeyes will get a crack at Maryland first, and if our score holds, that will be for first place in the Big Ten tournament. But everything's still up on the line in Big Ten lacrosse in the inaugural season of Big Ten lacrosse. When we return to Ann Arbor, highlights of the first half.
Instant access to the best in entertainment is right at your fingertips with the free on-demand marathon. Binge watch over 170 TV series, over 2,000 movies, and so much more during the free on-demand marathon, now through April 13th. Go to the free on-demand folder, select and enjoy, or watch on the go with the Fios mobile app. We're even offering some of our best premium channels. So start watching what you want, when you want. The free on-demand marathon, only on Fios. Instant access to the best in entertainment is right at your fingertips with the free on-demand marathon. Binge watch over 170 TV series, over 2,000 movies, and so much more during the free on-demand marathon, now through April 13th. Go to the free on-demand folder, select and enjoy, or watch on the go with the Fios mobile app. We're even offering some of our best premium channels. So start watching what you want, when you want. The free on-demand marathon, only on Fios.
Welcome back to Old Spice College Lacrosse from Michigan Stadium, moments away from the second half between the first meeting between the Buckeyes and the Wolverines as Big Ten rivals. Eamon McEnany along with Paul Carcaterra, and Michigan scored 4 straight goals to have a 2-goal lead, Paul, but then Ohio State, which had gone 18 minutes and 28 seconds without a goal, came to life again.
Down 4-2, the Buckeyes rattle 5 straight. Jesse King's been consistent all season long. The freshman, Shell, has stepped up his game inside. They're finding seams in this Michigan defense inside. A lot of crease goals. Christopher May, the face-off man, says, you're not going to pick me up, I'm going to make you pay. And then this one was a backbreaker. Once again, crease goals for Ohio State. If you're Michigan, protect the inside and support your goalie, Jerry Logan.
So we came on the air showing Nick Myers and Coach John Paul getting reacquainted. There's a look at Coach Paul, and now he has to make the adjustments again. The Wolverines were able to come to life and get a spark offensively with those 4 straight goals. What's going to be the key for Michigan here in the third quarter?
As I mentioned, supporting Logan inside. I think defensively, they just have to communicate. Ohio State likes to move a lot off ball. They have the 2-man picking game. They look for the inside quite a bit. It's all about timing slides and communicating. And then offensively, get some type of attack presence. You know Ian King is a big-time goal scorer, but there needs to be some initiation from behind the cage. So maybe you start inverting your midfielders. Get some offense from behind.
Ohio State looking to improve to 10-3. Maybe crack the top 10. They go back to the pole facing off against May. Brown kicks it forward. And McCormick comes up with it for Michigan.
You could tell by that face-off with Chase Brown, he's almost allowing May to win the draw, and then he's just attacking right away and hoping that the wings can crash as well. But there's no doubt about it, he is not even going head-to-head with May in terms of really bottling himself up there. It's let May win and then attack.
Wolverines need one. A lot of lacrosse left to play, but they need to get back on track on the offensive end. King had that first goal for Michigan off the unsettled situation off the faceoff, but the Buckeyes have kept him quiet for the rest of the half. Now here's Mikey Schlosser down the alley, draws the slide. Now here's King. Jackson gets it back. Meter being guarded by the short stick. Quick timer on here. First of the ball game on the first possession of the second half. So the refs change things up here on the Wolverines. 30-second shot clock in play. Schlosser with a good move. Carey gets a piece. That should wipe off the shot clock.
Guess they're saying it didn't hit Carey.
Wow.
Just bounced over.
That gets through Carey. Will Meter, the individual effort, makes it a 7-5 ball game.
I like the assertiveness of Will Meter, 15 in Mays, because right now they're not respecting the Michigan attack as dodgers and playmakers, so they're not sending slides. They're showing a little bit, but Meter recognizes he's got an alley to the cage, and he has to go hard. Make those guys respect the attack. At the end of the day, if Michigan's to generate offense and pull out a win here at home, these guys like Meter have to step up, and he did on that play.
30th career goal for the senior out of Brother Rice High School in suburban Detroit.
He's a big, strong kid. I think he needs to lower that shoulder and really get his momentum and become that topside dodger that you just saw there.
Here's Pfister off another face-off win by May. Now, did you notice a change in Michigan's offense that prompted that shot clock, or do you think the refs want to pick the pace up here in the second half?
I think it's a little bit of a combination of both. I mean, you saw, I think one thing that was pretty fitting early in that possession, Meter had a short stick on him and he didn't go to the cage. To me, if you're a ref, you're saying, okay, if an attackman has a short stick on him, he's accustomed to be defended by a long pole. Where's the offense being generated here?
There's a save by Logan as he stands tall against Kelly. Now Parker McKee on the clear, gets picked off. Telegraphed that pass, picked off easily by Eric Evans.
He telegraphed that pass, that's on him, but shame on the Michigan attackman too, not giving him a good outlet and popping out for the ball.
What a swing. What a swing. Michigan has the stop, has the clear. An ill-advised pass, they go the other way. And Carter Brown has another one.
Yeah, that's brutal. You clear the ball, you throw it right into the defender's stick for Ohio State, and it's instant offense the other side of the field, and Carter Brown cashes in from this turnover. This will drive a coach nuts. Bad pass, but that's on David McCormick, too. He's not popping to the ball. If you're an attackman there, go in and pop V-cut for the ball. Be an outlet. Ball gets picked off. Other end, and Carter Brown showing versatility. Stung one high from that same spot early in the first half. Goes low that time.
Here you see he has been a productive threat for the Buckeyes ever since he arrived in Columbus.
Watch, he's allowing him to win the face, and then it's attack mode. Right there. Hoping to get a 50-50 ground ball and harass May.
And it works as it stays on the rug. Now everyone's involved, and Michigan will come up with it. That's Andrew Hatton eventually with the ground ball, but we've seen that strategy throughout the year against the dominant face-off guys.
A lot of times you see it pull, but the pull contests it a little bit more. That one is just, okay, May, take the ball, and I'm going to be all over you.
Now Hernandez in the middle of the field. This is Bogle.
And if you're Christopher May, the way that you counter that is a quick little pinch and pop it to the backside, get the ball, and run to daylight. You don't want to really get that ball too far out. You don't want it to be a 50-50 ground ball with the wings. Get the ball yourself, so when you get it behind you, just a couple of yards. That's all it needs. Pick up the ball, run to daylight.
Haven't seen this line out there a whole lot. Here's Bogle, who scored last week against Rutgers. Sees the quick slide coming, moves it along. Aaron pass there from Joseph to Kennedy. And it's over and back. A new rule this year, once you step it, and that's going to be a delay game on Joseph. Easy call there as he bumps the Buckeye on the restart. Chippiness again. You know, tough to tell if he did it on purpose, but you have to call that.
Mays, number 1, delay game, 30 seconds.
It's a double whammy by Joseph. Turns the ball over.
That's a jinx. I have it.
And then you have that careless mistake right there. Not good.
So now the Buckeyes will have an extra man. 0 for 1 so far. Again, coming in just 28%. Brown, though, the main threat with 6 extra man goals.
Ohio State's man up, not great, under 30% on the season. You think with all these guys that they have offensively, they'd get it clicking.
Well, they get it clicking so far there. But the bounce shot too high off the turf.
The man advantage actually plays into the skill set strengths of this Ohio State offense. Really good ball handlers, good inside finishers. Only thing, maybe not a big-time stretch shooter from the outside.
And that'll do it. All even now. Penalty released. 6-on-6 lacrosse right now. Wide open. They finally get it to him, and they score. Late recognition, but it doesn't matter for Hunter. Carter Brown finally risked the cross-cage pass, and it was a good decision.
Hunter can score. He's always been a crease man in high school, big-time goal scorer and finisher. See the ball spinning around, and this is a beautiful pass. You see the skip from King to Brown, and then Brown just threads the needle to the weak spot. All the eyes, all the defensive rotation towards that side of the field after the skip pass, that backside wide open.
That was a prettier goal than Hunter's first goal of the game.
Hey, they all count the same.
They all count the same. So they stay with Brown, and May has made the tactical adjustment. Now numbers for the Buckeyes. Como. Oh, they can't hook up with King. Barger throws it away. So not only do they not cash in on transition, they don't even get the possession.
This is where I think Hernandez can flourish. In the middle of the field, athletically, you see his strides.
There's a shot. Carey ready for it, had a good look. No one in his way as King let it fly. 8 saves now for Carey. Good hustle by Gembis to come up with it. Come up with the check, and Michigan gets the ground ball back. So end-to-end action right now. Schlosser gets by the Buckeye.
John Paul loves 17 in Mays' upside. Said there's no ceiling for the sophomore. It's just a matter of getting the lacrosse awareness piece and really utilizing his athletic ability to become a big-time Dodger. Shoot on the run, both hands. See him with the ball right now. He's got a shorty. He's got to go.
And he does. Gets a step, gets rid of it, and there it is on cue.
It's a big-time move, and you know why John Paul loves this kid. Step for step, and his ability to stay north-south. He does not fade away and go east-west at all in this dodge. This is right down the heart of the defense. There's no slide. It's late. Just stings it, stick side pipe on Carey. This is a sweet move. What I love about it, too, he never breaks stride. That's the sign of a big-time shooter on the run. Your feet do not change when you shoot. It's like you're just running a 40-yard dash. A lot of guys have to have that little stutter step. You stop your momentum, defenders can catch up, not on Schlosser.
He had 0 points in the 3 prior games, so he gets off to Schneid here with a goal against the Buckeyes, but May continues to deal at the X. Brown hunting him down, harassing him, and now he's able to get it to Pfister. What a weapon May could be for the Buckeyes down the stretch in the postseason. It's amazing how that one piece of the puzzle can completely change your season. We see it for Denver with Baptiste, a late commit in the recruiting game. Ben Williams, transfer for Syracuse. And May making the move from Georgetown to Ohio State.
Game changers. Baptiste, I watched him last week. What a beast of an athlete he is, too. I mean, just 5'11", 215, and a monster.
What a move, what a pass. It was Evans on the dodge, and then he hit Shell right on the crease.
Turner Evans has been a mainstay 4 years in Columbus. Always been a big-time goal scorer. This time he's dishing the rock. And the freshman Shell, the recipient, Buckeyes, starting to go away with this one.
Thinking of investing in Duke Energy, NextEra Energy, or Dominion Resources? They're all components of XLU, the utility sector SPDR ETF, which includes over 25 utility stocks in the S&P 500 to help add diversification and minimize single stock risk. Why invest in a single utility stock when you can own the entire utility sector of the S&P 500? Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Go to sectorspiders.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. Visit us on the web at sectorspiders.com.
Heroes Charge. Lead your heroes in the hit mobile game. Download Heroes Charge now.
Welcome back to Ann Arbor. The visitors from Columbus with a 4-goal lead, looking to improve to 10-3 on the season. Maybe more importantly, looking to remain perfect in Big Ten play as they get ready for that showdown with Maryland. But all right, Paul, I'll give you a chance to win some friends back in Big Ten country. Let's take a look at Ohio State. Let's just say they don't win the Big Ten tournament. Could they get into the tournament as an at-large?
Right now, absolutely. I mean, you have the win over Denver. That's a monster one. And then you beat Hopkins and Towson. Towson just beat Fairfield yesterday, 8-7. That's a top 20 win for Towson. Their resume continues to improve. And, you know, Towson has that win over Georgetown as well. Key losses, Detroit, first game of the season. And then Marquette, Joe Amplo's club, obviously on the rise. So you look at their overall body of work right now. You asked me before if the season ends today. Well, ask me on Ohio State. If the season ends today.
If the season ends today.
Yes, I think they get in because there's not a ton of teams right now in that at-large discussion. I think one thing that's fascinating.
How about Joe Amplo and Marquette? Who are you putting in? Marquette or the Buckeyes? Mr. Head-to-head doesn't matter.
Well, look, man, Marquette also didn't take care of business a couple weeks ago against Bellarmine.
I understand.
And they've slipped up since that ridiculous start. And Georgetown clipped Marquette. And, you know, Georgetown's a team right now that starting to have a decent resume. And then also Stony Brook in the America East with Albany. Could that possibly be a two-team conference? There's so much lacrosse left to play. You're not going to agree with me regardless.
Well, I just want to bring up the possibility so the viewers are aware. That's all. You know. I just want to make sure that next time you and I are walking through Milwaukee, it's you who gets jumped and not me.
Hey, man, I'm a big believer in Joe Amplo. That guy can flat out coach.
So flag is down after there was a trip after the Buckeyes won the faceoff. And they have been dominant at the X, 14 of 19. But that's what makes April so great, setting up these conference tournaments. There's going to be so much to play for. I think all 5 ACC teams are in. We can see how that plays out, but I think they're all safe. You take a look at the Ivy League, probably being a multiple league bid. The Big Ten, probably a multiple bid league. The rest of them, everyone's fighting for that one spot, I think. In the Ivy League, it's just who else is going to get it.
They're all beating each other up right now.
They're all beating each other up. Off the pick, the shot, save, Logan. But, I mean, we're going to have Princeton-Harvard on ESPNU Friday night, and you get the feeling sometimes Princeton's not having a great year. Then you look at the Ivy League standings, they're 3-1.
Exactly.
They're right there.
They're going to get to the tournament. They're in good shape to get to the Ivy League.
They can host it.
Yeah,
we can go right down Nassau Street for the Ivy League tournament.
You know what I love, though, later in the season? The blind resume. I'm a big fan of the blind resume because you take the name off the shirt and call it like it is.
And then we really get to argue.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my bracketologist is Corey McLaughlin, and he has Ohio State in. Lax Magazine's guru. He has Marquette out, I believe, if I remember correctly, but certainly has the Buckeyes in.
Just let Corey go to Milwaukee.
Hey, Joe Amplo's got the Big East tournament. He can take care of things. There, nice pass and a goal on the extra man. Chell inside, finding the soft spot. He has 2 straight.
This kid is extremely poised. Nick Myers mentioned to us this is maybe his best freshman ever, and when he told me that at first, I said, a little bit of a head scratcher. Starting to believe right now this kid's poise, his ability to find seams. He's a ball carrier. You see his inside finish ability in his last 2 goals. He plays so well off of guys like Carter Brown and Jesse King. 22 in Reds, feeling it.
Talk about efficiency and being polished as a freshman. 3 shots, 3 goals for Colin Chell. And next Saturday, the Tar Heels head to South Bend. It'll be a top 5 matchup. First seed in the ACC tournament will be on the line between the Irish and the Tar Heels. 4 o'clock Saturday from Arlotta Stadium, Old Spice College Lacrosse.
I'm going to put you on the hot seat. You only have one Matt Landis. Who you guarding, Joey Sankey or Jimmy Bitter?
That's an excellent question. Well, you know, Notre Dame likes to tell us they don't care about matchups.
I care about matchups, though,
Sankey.
so I'm asking you.
Sankey.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, you pick your poison.
I think from a dodging standpoint this season, Bitter's been the guy, and Sankey obviously is a big-time All-American candidate. Yesterday broke the record for most points in a career at University of North Carolina. Broke Marcus Holman's record.
That lasted pretty long. Marcus, the ink didn't even dry on the certificate they gave him.
But Jimmy Better, just from a speed standpoint and the way that he's physically going after matchups, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Landis on him.
You got to imagine Notre Dame's looking at that Maryland tape to see what the Terps and John Tillman were able to do. Did they out-physical him? Did they scheme him? That's the only team that's been able to slow down North Carolina so far this year. And that is a huge game because no disrespect to Duke. We all know how good the 2-time defending champs are. But if you win that game, you get Duke in the opening round instead of Syracuse.
Yeah, I agree. And a buzzsaw named Ben Williams.
Well, Stotts, Rice, Donahue, Galasso, Schoonmaker, Leckie. Now Hernandez rolling back to the slide. Good team defense there by Ohio State. Actually, this is where team defense needs to be rewarded. Slap them with a shot clock. Jackson.
Right now, 17 in Mays. Mikey Schlosser has the short stick on him again, but Ian King as well. Attack these shorties, draw the double.
Well, looking for Schlosser. And the turf holds it up just enough, so now Schlosser has a step. Mulcrone went way out on him. There we go. Thank you. Shot clock on. 30 seconds to shoot for the Maize and Blue. And they do. Shot blocked. So even if they come up with it, the shot clock will be running. Now the Wolverines got to go. Schlosser, who they recognize. Up top. Pass deflected. Gets through. Shot. Wide. Carey has to back up anyway. You saw there the shot clock affected Michigan.
Absolutely, and no backup because all those attackmen who were being shortied were going after it and going to the cage. So Will Meter, who typically is behind in that spot, he was occupied because he was going after a shorty and dodging. So he's caught upfield. Thomas Carey closest to the ball when it went out of bounds. Ohio State rewarded.
So now Kelly. Kelly draws the short stick.
Great job down here, 3-9.
Pushed off the alley by Kinnick.
Good job, easy.
Now King being guarded by the short stick. Goes to the swim. Was that
second time they nailed 19 in red with that. Using his free arm. And he wasn't happy with the call.
You might want to walk over to the official and say, Mr. Official, I am an All-American.
I think what happens a lot of times with a guy like Jesse King, he's a two-handed cradle type guy. So when he does take his bottom hand off, because he's always got it in his left hand, a lot of times you see that free arm. You see it in the air. They're going to call it quicker than they do against a standard American guy who has it out there the entire time.
And Michigan returns the favor by setting a moving pick. So now off the restart, numbers for the Buckeyes. Shell up top, good look and a goal. Kelly. So the unsettled opportunity hurts Michigan.
Big to get John Kelly healthy on a team that has a lot of crafty inside type finishers. He's a little bit more of an old school throwback midfielder, can stretch a defense. He's been shooting under 20%, so this is good news when he plants and rips. He can hug that offside of Gerald Logan, who's been active and hung out to dry now in this last barrage of Ohio State offense, Eamon.
Chell now has an assist to go with his 3 goals, and Nick Myers was very happy to get John Kelly back in the lineup for the Penn State game, and he scored a huge goal last week against Johns Hopkins when it was tied at 11 in the 4th quarter. That started that late surge by the Buckeyes to pull away. Couldn't pick up that call, but it'll be Michigan ball with 2:10 to play. And the Buckeyes doubling up the Wolverines.
You know, we talk about Big Ten lacrosse and inaugural season. I think for the Big Ten to really take the next step, these 2 programs have to be relevant on the national stage. Huge athletic departments, big-time names, a built-in rivalry already. Michigan certainly closing the gap the last 3 years, making it more competitive. But I think for Big Ten to really have a vice grip on college lacrosse, this rivalry really needs to mean something.
Joseph gets denied by Carey, and he gobbles up the rebound. There you see Ohio State, since Michigan went varsity, D1 a couple of years ago. 9 saves for Carey. And there's no doubt, Paul, you need to attract fans who don't know the history of lacrosse, who don't know a mumble from a 10-man ride, but know it's Ohio State, Michigan, know it's Penn State, Michigan.
Turn on the tube and it's 11-10 in the fourth quarter, and you're from Michigan and you were born to not like Ohio State. You're going to stay in on that game. I mean, the bottom line.
And look, Ohio State is no stranger to the big stage. They've been in the quarterfinals twice, once under Joe Bresci when they went up to Ithaca and just took it to Cornell, and then they played Duke in the next round. And then under Coach Myers a couple of years ago, they won the first round at home after winning the ECAC tournament, and then fell to Rob Pinnell and the Big Red at College Park. So they have knocked on the door of the elite in college lacrosse.
Even when, Joe Bresci set the stage, Nick Myers has had some consistent winning lacrosse here in Columbus. And I think this year he's done a fantastic job, because there were some lows in this season, Eamon. You know, you lose to Detroit in opening day and you get blanked against Notre Dame. He's got these guys now playing their best lacrosse, and their offense is for real.
And he has them 15 minutes of lacrosse away from win number 10. We're back to Ann Arbor for the fourth quarter after this.
Trying to hold him off. He goes to the jumper and he beats Gilman. Striegel into Pinnell. Pinnell, what a move and a shot. Score. Too easy. Pinnell, he scores again. Scores! There's Ron Pinnell. On the cannons, but Pinnell goes slow and wheel. Bobble at night. Comes Pinnell again. Fires. Scoot passing. Pinnell left. He scores. Ron Pinnell, a fantastic rookie from Cornell.
Thinking of investing in Apple, Google, or Microsoft? They're all components of XLK, the technology sector spider ETF, which includes over 60 other technology stocks in the S&P 500 to help you add diversification and minimize single stock risk. Why pick a single technology stock when you can own the entire technology sector of the S&P 500? Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Go to sectorspiders.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. Visit us on the web at sectorspiders.com.
Hey, new car buyers, see what the power of 3 means for you. Route 46 Nissan in Totowa, Edison Nissan in Edison, and our grand opening, Route 33 Nissan in Hamilton. The power of 3 means... all 3 of our great locations with up to $7,500 off on the Sentra, Ultima, Maxima, Rogue, Pathfinder, and Quest. And remember, we always make buying fun and easy.
Attention structured settlement recipients. Are you receiving future payments from a settled lawsuit? Do you receive annuity payments spread out over a period of time? Turn those payments into a large lump sum of money. Call CBC Settlement Funding now. If you qualify, you could be eligible for an immediate $1,000 fast-track advance. Call CBC now to discuss your free, no-obligation options.
Call 1-800-215-8787. That's 1-800-215-8787.
See him go. See him get out of here. All right, Nick. Got a lot of nerve. Lot of nerve.
Woody and Bo would have liked the way this one started, and it set the tone. The Buckeyes and the Wolverines. Some intensity, some chippiness, some trash talking. A Big Ten win is on the line, and both teams are playing like it right now in Ann Arbor as we welcome you back to Old Spice College Lacrosse. We are set for the fourth quarter. The visitors from Columbus in control, and he's got the best seat in the house. Either that or he thinks he's getting ready for the spring game. Yeah.
That is classic.
He's trying to reserve when you said when it becomes a big-time rivalry, it's going to be packed.
Looked like me when I used to go to my brother Brian's games. I used to get so nervous with him and Cage at Hopkins. I'd sit by myself, but not in the big house.
Well, the Wolverines will get to go to the big house of lacrosse, if you would, when they play at Homewood next week against Johns Hopkins. Meter gets tied up by Hoss. Now McCormick out of Cincinnati.
And you look at the level of lacrosse Michigan's playing right now. We had their first game on national television when they played Hopkins 2 seasons ago in year 2. This is a much improved lacrosse team. I mean, just their athletes, the stick skills, and certainly trending in a direction that Michigan fans want to see. Obviously, you want to see the wins against a rival like Ohio State. You want to play for Big Ten championships. I will say this, though. With the Michigan brand and academics, athletics, and their commitment to lacrosse, it's going to be there.
Here's King up top, being guarded by Mulcrone. Cincinnati against Chicago. Good job by Mulcrone, but it stays in play. Meter now.
See, if they didn't outlaw the dive, think about how many more attackmen would launch from behind the crease there, Eamon. When you have a defender or a goalie hung up, you're teetering on that crease infraction. If you could just launch your body and stick it and land in the crease after you leave your feet, we'd have a different scenario behind the cage. I want to see the dive back, big time.
Now King goes to set a pick for Chell. Kelly through the box with 13 minutes left in regulation and a 6-goal lead for the Buckeyes. Kelly bounces off the double team. Now the switch, so Hernandez is out there on defense. Now Chell, who's having a big afternoon with 4 points. Feed inside. Nice wheel and deal by King, but he can't put it on cage.
You see the handle of Jesse King. I mean, that is not easy to do. To catch it, turn with pressure, and just let it rip right there. Jesse King's accustomed to just having so much defensive pressure and attention on him. He knows that his window is much smaller than most players because of that big-time reputation he has as an offensive stud. And, man, he's legit.
Now Evans draws the quick slide from Gembis. And now gets it to Carter Brown. King being guarded by the short stick. Shot saved by Logan. Nice pick up there by Matt Gembis. And now we go the other way. Someone's got to get open for him.
That's exactly what I said before. Shame on the attackman. I mean, you have to pop and be an outlet when a defender or a midfielder is coming down after a clear. Fight and get open.
Now King. Schlosser through the box, whips it but wide.
See, right now, these midfielders are being guarded way out. You got to make Ohio State pay.
Inside, he can't make the catch. Tough catch for Brendan Gaughan. And there's a flag. Ooh, unnecessary roughness on Mulcrone. Heard something, didn't see it. Nick Myers certainly not happy with the explanation.
Tell him to look at the replay.
Wow, how's that?
Did he lead with his shoulder or his stick? From this angle, a little bit tough to call, but it looked like the shoulder, which to me is a fine hit.
Unnecessary roughness is a big call for that.
I mean, I went to a high school game yesterday. Ward, Melville, Yorktown, and they were letting these kids play. I saw a couple kids get absolutely depleted. On hits like that, there were no calls.
Which is to another extreme. But, I mean, physical play is part of the game, but now the Wolverines look to take advantage against a very tough man-down unit, but it doesn't matter. Francia with the look.
Mike Francia, freshman year, spent at Villanova, transferred to Michigan, and just a crafty speedster type attack when plays the extra man for a reason. That is a sweet shot, man. You get goalie Thomas Carey. These two played against each other quite a bit in high school. Both the same year, Wilton and New Canaan in Fairfield County. Francia just stings it.
His fourth extra man goal of the season. John Paul's team has some life with 10:19 left to play. They're going to need to come up with some face-off wins against May. And they get the ground ball here.
And Eamon, I think they've done as well as possible on the face-off.
Dangerous pass, Chell. As Logan was able to recover. But again, just when the Wolverines have a possession, they give it right back.
Exactly. You fight and crawl to get to that spot, to win a face-off against a guy like Chris May. And then you just give it right back. There was 5 or 6 turnovers in this game that I think could have been completely prevented by Michigan that were outcome changers. I mean, that turned into goals right away, or big-time possessions for Ohio State. They can clean this game up. I think the Wolverines, certainly, like I said earlier, a much improved team over the last couple of years. They have the guys. It's a matter of just playing smarter lacrosse.
Well, they double and switch on Pfister, and they force an errant pass from the Buckeyes. Well, this travel out of bounds. Mulcrone does a good job to keep it from the over and back, but the Wolverines come up with it. I tell you, you watch the Wolverines play on tape and now in person, you like what Chase Young brings to the table at the short stick position, especially as a freshman.
Yeah, he's going to be great. See the ground balls like that, in between the lines, his ability to play defense. We saw him taking the ball away from some of the studs on Ohio State. I mean, that's more than you ask for out of a short stick defender. You want to just play good defense? This guy puts the ball on the rug.
Nobody home on the crease as that pass airmailed to Cutter, and they give it back. Was it tipped? They say it was tipped. Oh, good job of selling and influencing the officials from the people wearing maize and blue on the sidelines. And King tries to sneak it in, Carey ready for it. And Pfister comes up with the ground ball. Now he's in trouble in the middle of the field. Loose ball, they're selling out for it again. Kapinov's able to take his man off the play, and that pass gets picked off.
This game's getting a little sloppy.
Now Francia decides to slow things up. Critical possession here for the Buckeyes, trying to make things interesting. I know it's unconventional, Paul, but if you're John Paul, do you think about taking a timeout here to make sure you execute on this possession and try to make it 12-8 the ways? You mentioned the sloppiness that's been going on right now.
No, because I think you have your right personnel out there. You have Schlosser, you have Jackson.
Francia with the shot, but a tough angle.
You want to communicate quickly from the sideline and get the ball in the playmaker's hands. Look to see who's getting short-sticked. If they're disrespecting attack, get after it.
Now King. Schlosser gets to the middle of the field on his short stick, but loses his footing. Gets his hands free, Carey ready for it.
Yeah, that's a deep shot to begin with, but when you're going to throw it stick side on Thomas Carey, that's too easy.
11 saves now for Carey. His 9th game of the season with double-figure saves. And now Ohio State can really put it in slow-mo mode on the other end.
Well, Ohio State's a team that can strike in quick offense, or then it's a long possession. So something happens right away, or then it's a long possession. And right now, when you're up 5 with under 7 minutes, this offense is in great position right now to burn some serious clock.
Let's see what the officials, how much leeway the officials give them here on this possession. Quick slide, King with time and room. Logan stops it, rebound. One man's garbage is another man's treasure.
This is a really nice goal from the angle I David Planning does with the head of his stick to get this by. That is sick. Takes it across the face of his body right there and stings it low.
Old Spice College Lacrosse is brought to you by the Old Spice Fresher Collection. Here's an eagle noise. Caw-caw.
Feeling good about Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, or Amgen? They're all components of XLV, the healthcare sector SPDR ETF, which includes over 50 healthcare and biotech stocks in the S&P 500 to help add diversification and minimize single stock risk. Why invest in a single healthcare stock when you can own the entire healthcare sector of the S&P 500? Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Go to sectorspiders.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. Visit us on the web at sectorspiders.com.
Yankees, Red Sox. The rivalry is quiet until it's not. The rivalry is cooled until it's hot. All it needs to spark is a new season. Rule 20.15. The year may change, but the rivalry doesn't. Sunday Night Baseball, Red Sox Yankees tonight at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell.
I didn't know you guys were watching last night. Thank you guys.
What are you talking about, stuff?
I had that 27-10 last night, and today, chicken curry.
I don't think
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Who was that guy? I don't know.
Welcome back to Ann Arbor. Ohio State ranked 11th in the country with a 6-goal lead with 6 minutes left to play, and Nick Myers has received a quality performance from the freshman Colin Shell.
You have Carter Brown, you have Jesse King. Well, this is the third man right now that can really fill it up. The freshman, Colin Shell, so smooth off ball. He's got a nice first step and the vision to boot.
And they gave him an assist on this one as he's able to shovel it over to Planning.
Maybe they thought that he wanted to go there with the ball. I don't think he did.
He'll take any points. Well, while Shell's having a big afternoon, not the same for Ian King. He started the festivities for Michigan with the goal off the faceoff as we take a look at a BioBlast on the Cincinnati product brought to you by Sector SPDR ETFs. Michigan can't have him have quiet afternoons.
No, one goal, not going to cut it. And he's a guy that in a perfect offense, he's your righty wing shooter. In this offense, he's asked to carry a little bit more than probably he should. Become more of a quarterback where he should just be your hired gun scorer.
He had 4 a week ago in the win over Rutgers. Brown hunting down May. But with under 6 now, May's in trouble. Young all over him, and May loses it. So good double again. Young, as we mentioned, making plays.
Yeah, this kid's all over the field, 35 in Mays.
Out of St. Joe's Prep in Philly, which is a high school we see popping up more and more on rosters across Division I men's lacrosse.
Philly's just becoming a factory for incredible high school lacrosse.
Nice takeaway there by Barger in the middle of the field. So under 5.5 to play. Buckeyes up by 6. Paul, we've seen Ohio State at its best. We've seen Ohio State at its worst when they were shut out by Notre Dame. What are you expecting from the Buckeyes next week when they host Maryland in this shoe?
We saw them at their worst offensively against Notre Dame, but I thought they were actually good defensively against the Irish. Irish can fill it up offensively. Scored 9 in that game. This is a program right now that's been playing really good defense the last couple years. Technically sound, they're in sync, they communicate, they have the... It's the offense now, the last few weeks, that's really come alive, and and starting to fill it up. I mean, 15 goals last week against Johns Hopkins, 13 today. They're going to have to play against a different type of defense, though, next week. John Tillman and that staff, Kevin Connery, have that defense locked down. Like you said, the only defense that's been able to hold North Carolina under 10 goals. North Carolina scored 8 in that game, and in the fourth quarter, they had 5. So they got 3 later goals when the game was kind of decided. That defense is super legit right now. So Ohio State, you know Jesse King, they're going to slide to him when he comes off the bus next week. Other guys are going to have to step up.
Shot clock on. Possession continues. Flag down. That pass picked off by Logan, so we'll get another look at the extra man unit. So what you're saying is John Tillman and his staff not getting a lot of sleep this week, getting ready for Jesse King.
I think they have a similar game plan in terms of just different styles when you deal with North Carolina and Sankey and Bitter, but I think they're going to slide to those guys at the same type of rate. Jesse King being an attackman now, not playing any midfield, they'll have those same principles. Obviously different styles, Sankey, Bitter, and King.
Well, Nick Myers will tell you they have seen everything thrown at Jesse King in his career in Columbus. College baseball on ESPNU back Thursday at 7:30 Eastern. It's an SEC showdown. Number 2 Vanderbilt against number 21 South Carolina. This game will also be live on Watch ESPN. Skip pass gets through. They decide not to take the cross cage look.
That's really aggressive defense. The seam will be open when you fly out to guys when you're man down. It's feast or famine.
Logan makes the save. This is a hold against Michigan. Ohio State looking to go. Penalty released, pass picked off.
That was a great play right there.
Yep. Looked like it was Charlie Keaty out of Darien, Connecticut, Fairfield Prep High School, picking off the pass as he lost his footing. Now Orr gets a step on the clear and gets it to the attack as we approach 3 minutes left. So for those of you tuning into ESPNU to watch some college baseball between Campbell and Liberty, that's getting started momentarily over on ESPN3. We will get you out to that ball game as soon as we are finished here in Ann Arbor. Matt Stewart and Mike Rooney with the call of that one.
You know, you mentioned Ohio State and Maryland, and they go toe-to-toe. How about Chris May and Charlie Raffa if he's back from injury? He got nicked up a week ago, and they need Raffa in terms of the way that they play and their style.
He's such a game changer. He sets the tone for them defensively. He really does.
And you know what? Yeah, absolutely. And offensively, ball control offense. Yeah, 100% right. But Raffa also so battle-tested. I mean, this guy played in the ACC for 3 years. Last year in the quarterfinals, Kevin Massa was the big name and the first-team All-American. He absolutely abused him. So big game ready. Charlie Raffa, whether he's hobbling on one leg or he's got a bum shoulder, it doesn't matter. That guy comes to play.
And there's a look at some upcoming college softball, excuse me, from the SEC, Alabama, Auburn at 8:30 on Friday. And then game 2 will be 6 o'clock on Saturday. Number 7, Alabama, number 6, Auburn. Pretty much a play that sums up how the second half has gone for Michigan. Simple exchange on the clear, and it ends up being Ohio State ball.
You know, the positive there, though, these coaches will watch the film, and there's a lot of teachable moments when you you look at this game, it wasn't a matter of, oh, we weren't able to get shots off or we're not athletic enough at the midfield. No, those things are taken care of. The careless mistakes for Michigan, though, today, they were a disaster at times.
So Coach Meyer's offense with 13 goals, but the defense led by Thomas Carey keeping the Wolverines in check this afternoon.
I think Thomas Carey, as the redshirt sophomore out of New Canaan, Connecticut, he's been legit in 2015. Super athletic, was a star soccer player in high school. You see the quick feet, the explosive ability to the ball, and he really doesn't have a weakness. He's not a guy that's really weak low or weak high, or there's not a big book out on this guy. He's just so technically sound and does everything well.
9th game this season with double-figure saves, so Coach Myers takes a timeout, 45 seconds left, always a coachable moment. What do you think he's trying to get out of here, out of this timeout in the final 45 seconds?
Just how to burn the last minute of a game when you're up. I mean, he's probably telling these guys, let's put ourselves in a scenario right now that you're up 1. Pretend that you're up 1 and you have to control the ball and keep the lead. That's the only other thing. I could tell you anyone that's waiting for a baseball game isn't happy with that timeout. I mean, am I lying?
No. It's the lacrosse gods payback for Indiana State and Wichita State a week ago,
That's
I guess.
Right.
Looks like Carey's afternoon is done. Don't worry, Campbell and Liberty fans will get you there. And here they are. You see they double the ball. They stay in bounds. And now the Wolverines come up with it. So after all that, Michigan comes up with the turnover it wanted. That was Thomas Orr with the turnover. Now Francia has the trailer, makes the pass, shot and a goal. So the Buckeyes will have to work on end-game execution a little bit more in practice this week as Portnoy takes the pass and scores.
If the scenario was you were up 1, you just tied the game and now you're in overtime, he cannot be happy with that. I mean, you call a timeout to secure the ball and to basically go over a scenario of end-game type of ball control. In Michigan, credit them, never giving up to the final whistle. You're seeing a little bit of transition out of them. Didn't see a whole lot of that today. That's another takeaway for a Michigan fan and Michigan coaches. Where can we get more transition and generate offense off of loose balls?
Valuable 16 seconds. Portnoy from Francia at 16 seconds.
So the Buckeyes win another face-off, and now they should be able to run off the final 10 seconds of the ball game and improve to 10-3 and 3-0, which will set up a monster showdown next week in Columbus against Maryland. But they make it 4 in a row against the Wolverines as a varsity program, and when you play sports at Ohio State and you beat Michigan, it's a quality win. Our final score from Ann Arbor, Ohio State 13, Michigan 8. The Buckeyes improved to 3-0 in Big Ten play. Coming up next on ESPNU, it's college baseball. Campbell at Liberty. Now let's send it out to Matt Stewart and Mike Rooney.
Conference start of the season.